I'm always out here championing conscious decision making, thinking about what you're doing, especially when it comes to buying things with money that could be spent better on other things. And yet here I am having bought fucking Metroid Prime Remastered. There are a couple of reasons behind it, and while I set up my second screen, I finally bought a USB-C to VGA adapter so I can plug in my second screen to my Mac Mini. While we are doing that, I want to kind of talk about FOMO and how I suffer from it at times, even though I like to believe that I'm a less worse case than other people. And why I bought Metroid Prime, even though I've never played it. I'm not a big fan of Metroid, and I just tried many Metroid games in the past. They weren't really my thing. Now, what I did, it was announced as a digital game with a later physical release, making me think, okay, they don't really have a lot of hope in it, so it may be a limited release, which shouldn't really even be a factor in considering buying it. Like, just because it's limited, I don't need it. Like, there are many people buying limited things just because they think they're missing out on something, but if you're not interested in the game, why do you even want it, even if it's limited? So I never understood that. On the other hand, I totally understand the fear of missing out on all of that. I just see there may be a power cable required here. I'm not sure about that one. So I need to read the manual on it. So yeah, that is definitely something I never quite understood to the fullest, needing to buy limited things just because they're limited. But here I am, I bought this because Amazon is sold out already. It is a budget game, it's 40 euros. It's, from what I've heard, fantastic remaster and totally worth the money. And always when I think back to the 3DS times, for example, I really loved the 3DS era because games were 40 euros at launch. And for 40 euros, I'm willing to take the risk of buying a game that may not turn out so great, but it looks interesting to me. So I tended to buy a lot of games day one just to check them out. Whereas nowadays with 50 to 60 euros per game, it's a harder pill to swallow, just for me mentally, because saying 50 euros is quite a bit of money, even though it's only 10 euros more. So I don't tend to take as many risks nowadays on Switch games or even other games. But this one launched at 40, which is a price point where I think more games should launch at, and I would buy a lot more games day one for that price. The other point is, like, people are calling it an all-time classic, and even back then I heard people talk about it a lot. I had a Gamecube, I never had the game. So when it was released digitally, I knew I was not going to buy it. I need to set up my monitor now, I'm just talking. So I didn't want to buy it digitally. So I want the physical game, that's just how I am, who I am, what I'm doing. And the problem was it was released around a month later, as you all know, and I didn't really know if I liked the game because, like I said, the Metroid games are not really my cup of tea. So I decided to load up, I don't know if you see it like behind the screen or something, I loaded up my Wii and played the Gamecube version, nice in little widescreen hack, 480p, beautiful. And I just finished the first world yesterday and I actually really enjoy it. I really like it. So I said, okay, I like the game well enough. However, I now started the Gamecube version. Like this one, I will not play this. I will continue playing the Gamecube version because, I don't know, I have nostalgia for the Gamecube. I love the Gamecube and I like playing on it. I like the controller. I like the graphics. Like even though this is technically better looking game. Actually, comparing the two, I watched the Digital Foundry video, the modern vintage gamer video. Like I did my research on the remaster, and I still like the graphic style of the original game more. So I will continue playing it. I will have a lot of fun with it. And this will probably just stay shrink wrapped for the next time I want to replay it or play it portably. However, I don't really see that happening in the near future, quite honestly, because when I finished the Metroid on the Gamecube, like, why do I want to play it again right away? If I wanted to, I would probably play the Gamecube version again because I'm most familiar with it then. And if I want to play a new Metroid Prime game, there's Metroid Prime 2. There's Metroid Prime, the DS game, Metroid Prime DS. I actually played that a little bit on the DS back then. And there's Metroid Prime 3. There's Federation Force. I'm not sure. I think that's more of a multiplayer shooting game. People were really mad about that. And there's Metroid Prime 4 coming out. So I would probably just buy the other games or play the other games in the series instead of playing the remaster right here. So buying this made no sense because I already have the game, I played the game, I have fun with the game, and this is just for the shelf. On the other hand, this is a release I really want to support. As I said, the 40 euro price point, the actually good remaster this time around, is all something that I feel should be supported if they actually put good effort behind it, good people, and have good results, and sell it for a reasonable price. Like, reasonable price is not 60 euros for an emulated version of Skyward Sword. Reasonable price is 40 euro for an old game with better graphics. I think that's the price point we should all strive for. And that's why I think that's worth supporting. And also, they never saw any cent of my GameCube copy, because, of course, even if I bought it nowadays, it would be a second-hand copy, so Nintendo wouldn't see any money from that. And I just downloaded it, of course, just to try it out. So I feel better now having paid for the game. They got my money for the game, not the game I'm buying, then I'm playing, but for a version of the game. And that makes me feel a little bit better as a gamer who actually wants to support the industry in what it's doing. I need to crawl under the table for a second. However, there's a whole other problem. That doesn't need to go down here, actually. I only need that at the top. It leads to a whole other problem that I've grown increasingly pessimistic towards the Switch. I think I made a video about that in the past. I rant about it on Twitter quite a lot, that the Switch really doesn't have its own identity. It is almost completely made up of ports, oftentimes inferior ports, remakes, there it goes, remasters, and like a handful of exclusive. Like, we are just getting the first exclusive Zelda game for the Switch later this year, at like the end of the Switch lifespan. We got one exclusive Mario game so far. I think so, yeah. The others were all ports, which is fine. That used to be the case anyway. Like, for the longest time, like, the GameCube had one exclusive Mario game, Mario Sunshine, and that game was amazing. So it's not that problematic, but really the Switch is lacking its own identity. And I would wish they made a lot more original games for it. Now the problem is, here I am, mainly buying remakes, ports, remasters of games I already want. Like, in the summer, the only thing I'm interested in is Breath of the Wild so far, and the Barton Kaitos HD versions that are coming out. Oh, I accidentally flipped the power switch. That's not good. Computer turned off. Yeah, so I mainly buy those games. Like, when it comes to original games, I tend to kind of sit back and wait a little bit. And I honestly don't know why that is the case so much. Because I love original games, but for some reason the old stuff, maybe it's the value proposition. 50 euros for 2 RPGs of, like, that I always wanted to play, like the Barton Kaitos games, doesn't sound like that bad of a deal to me. However, like, paying 60 for, I don't know, a game like Fire Emblem Engage or something, or even another more traditional RPG like the Octopath Traveler that just came out. I don't know, it doesn't feel as easy to me. I think I tend to have an easier time rebuying games than buying them in the first place. And I think I really need to change that. Like, I should be happy with just having my digital copy of Metroid Prime. They already have that game, and I don't need to buy this. Like, I spent 40 euros that could have gone to investing in some other game that I wanted to get. Now I'm sitting here, even thinking like games, for example, like Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, which is a game I'm really interested in. It was like 20 euros a month ago, and I thought, I'm not so sure right now. Even though I'm really interested in it, and here I am dropping double the price for a game I already have. I don't know, it makes no sense actually. So that's just how it is as a collector sometimes. And yeah, the limited release really got me as well. Oh, the screen is on, fantastic. Wow, that it doesn't need a power source apparently. So that was easier than I thought. We have a few graphical glitches. I'll see if I can sort that out. Maybe it's because of the low resolution that just doesn't work for Macs. I'm not sure, but there's a white line going around. So yeah, let me show you. So screen, here we go. This is a very old one. Like, I bought this in 2009 or so, but it's perfectly fine as a second monitor, and even this one is 10 years old now, but 1080p. It's more than enough for my users. So what do you think? Do you suffer from FOMO? Do you suffer from like buying games you actually already have instead of buying new games? Let me know in the comments. This was just a little ramble rant, kind of talking. There was no structure to it. I was just doing it while setting up this monitor. Yeah, we should all support more original games. Like, stop buying as many remasters, remakes, ports, and sequels to things. Like, is there an original game on the Switch? Ring Fit Adventure comes to mind, but otherwise it's all sequels, ports, remasters. The whole sad state of the Switch right now is maybe worth another video that needs a bit more structure than this ramble thing. But I hope you enjoyed listening to me anyway, and I will continue playing Metroid Prime, but on the Gamecube. On the Wii, the Gamecube version on the Wii, actually. I'm not playing the Wii version with the waggle stick. Forget about that. Controller, baby. I'm also playing Dragon Quest VIII still. So grinding my way through that, like 35 hours in right now. Still enjoying it, losing a bit of its steam, but still making my way through. Thank you very much for watching. Do you have games you would recommend buying this year? I ordered the new Shin-Chan game, the limited run release. By the way, limited run is doing a physical release of Shin-Chan, the My Summer Vacation game. It was released digitally in the West. I was waiting for a physical release, and Bandai Namco tweeted out on Twitter, oh yeah, here, this is the game, and you can also buy it and get it shipped to you to Europe. So that basically told me, all right, it's one of those situations where they think having a US company do a limited print English run of a game is enough for the European market as well. Man, I want to support my local market. I don't want to shovel all my money to the US and then get it shipped over here. Like, even if it's like a limited run company, I don't even care. Give it a European release, please, if you're one of those companies. That's another rant, so look forward to that. I see you again in the next video, pressing the record button right now, or the stop record button. Bye.